Morning. Welcome to Pembroke for this first of two T20s today. Our first visitors, YMCA. And Tim Tector, fresh from his century last week, facing the first ball. Well, it's overcast, but the forecast is for a dry day. There's a good crowd down here today. I first of all see to my left here, Mr. Trevor Freeman. Morning, Trev. Oh, that's a super shot. It's gone flying down to third man. There is a fielder down there. Donica Tucker taking up his usual position down by the Wilfield Road gate. And a single there. That will bring Adam Rossler, the YM wicketkeeper, to the striker's end. Aidan Sievers, he's the umpire at Nick Stapleton's end. Nick the Pembroke Pro this year. That's a good ball. Oh, it's a good enough start. Just a single off the first three balls.
Have you got lads? I tape battery and things on well enough, so that's why you suddenly lost the pictures. Dropped.
Technical difficulties of camera setups this morning. However, the camera is now up on the pole, and Adam Rossler now to face his second ball. Played away on the offside between two fielders. Two taken. What a peaceful morning it is. Very early to be starting, especially if you were a guest of O'Reilly's last night, as I was. Guinness particularly good last night, contributing to the quieter morning. Another single, well fielded. Brings Tector back on strike. Pembroke, who last time out lost one and had one affected by the rain. Not the greatest of starts to their T20 campaign. Very well bowled, good line, good length. And that concludes the first over. Yes, it's hard to think that success at this tournament in Leinster puts you into the All-Ireland semi-finals. And if you get through that and win the All-Ireland, you end up with a early season start. Then following year, as the winners of this T20, of the All-Ireland T20, will be jetting off to Malaga, Cartman Oval. Joining all the other European teams. CIYMS were there representing Ireland this year. They came out of their group very well. And then unfortunately, in the finals week, they fell at, I suppose, what could be called the semi-finals. In fact, I think it may have been the Spanish side that ended up winning the tournament. ECN and ECL, European Cricket Network. Daniel Weston's baby. So, Zach Micklewhite starts with quite a short one. It's pulled round to square leg, just a single. score has moved on to 5. Yeah, it's there or thereabouts. Oh, you want me up there, do you? I try to be far enough away from it that people don't hear me wheezing and breathing.
Well, we can turn up a bit there, right?
It's gone big on that one, over square leg, and that's going to reach the boundary. It's gone for 4. That's a super shot from Tector. Well, he appears to have picked up where he left off last week. His 43 ball century. Certainly in top form. It's a few years ago now. And I remember playing a game for Pembroke Fifths against YMCA in Claremont Road, and Tim Tector took his first fifer at that time. Probably aged about 9 at the time, actually. And he's gone big again. This one a bit more forward in square, in front of square, and that's going to run away. But he pulled up in front of the boundary. But they are going to get 3 for it, and that's super running from YMCA. There is certainly serious intent there now. Pembroke using quite a few youngsters here, obviously missing the Irish players. They're over in Chelmsford, waiting for those 3 one-dayers against Bangladesh. That's a beautiful shot from Adam Rossler. That is going to race away to the boundary. Save your legs there. That was a super shot. Yes, Bangladesh had a warm-up game scheduled for yesterday against the Wolves behind closed doors. Cricket Island deciding to lock the doors. One would have felt that Bangladesh would have had a decent sort of crowd for that. However, the dampness down in Chelmsford meant that that game didn't take place. As again, Rossler pushes one out. Well, just the 2 taken this time. So, yes, Bangladesh might be going into the 3 one-dayers without some experience of English conditions. Much better delivery. Well, that was an expensive over. 14 from it. Not the ideal start that Micklewright or Pembroke would have wanted. But these batsmen do look in serious touch. As for what would make a good score here, well, they're going along at 9 and over. That's 180. Who knows what they'd reach once they accelerate past that. Stapleton to continue from the St John's end. Gets the first one past the edge of the bat through to the keeper. There's a dozen or so people down just to watch this game now, sitting along the wall. Andrew Mooney and Ada Lewis are our scorers to our left, our statisticians. Beautifully played away on the offside, not trying to overhit it forwards, but just using the pace of the ball. Plays it out through point, picks up 2. Greg Hollins, the wicket keeper. He picks it up. Change in the field. Danny Hogan going out through the covers. And just behind and in front of point. Well, JP's in front of point. Colleague JJ behind. Well, that had a bit of everything. Nobody knew where the ball had gone there.
I was off looking for a flying slip third man somewhere over there. Camera had moved. God,
I thought he'd been close.
you're probably just about the background of that volume. He'd have to tell you. He's got the headphones on.
I can hear all of you. Oh, that's a much better ball. Causing trouble for the batsman. Flying through with a bit of pace.
Notice anything different about what people are looking at?
Oh, in what regard?
That's not instantly.
No.
That's bigger.
Okay. I don't have the right glasses on to read it anyway.
You still can't read what you've got that size.
Another good ball.
Having that normal was causing another bit of glitches. Had to tweak and adjust it. It's the end result.
What a super view that camera does provide. This one just knocked off the hip. And Stapleton finishes his second. 3 overs gone. Score has moved on to 21.
Usually, if I say it, it won't matter. If I don't say it, it will. Just inside that window, a tarp.
Yep. Well, change of bowling. Michael White just the one over. And now captain Paul Lawson bringing himself on. Brother Theo Lawson safely sat on his couch, I suspect. He'll be no doubt watching this on a little screen while he has the coronation of King Charles III on the big screen. And if he has a third one, perhaps Villa have a game today as well. Villa playing, Rangers playing, and Leeds Rugby League team playing. That would be a busy day for Theo. Oh, that's coming in here. Nice bit of fielding. Saves the boundary. But that was definitely looking like it was headed towards us.
I was starting to think about, am I going to catch it? No, I'm all right.
Just parry it, I think, is as good as we could hope for. Well bowled by Lawson. Just cramping the batsman a little bit for space. Certainly does want to give him the space he gave him last time. You could see the premeditation as Tim Tector smears that one through mid-wicket for 4. There's the shot that came looking like it was for us, but instead the fielder just judging it perfectly to keep it on the field of play. Saved the boundary. Now Tim Tector takes on Paul Lawson again, and he goes big and straight, and that's going to go for a lot. He's not hanging around here today. He moves on to 22. Score moves on to 33. Paul Lawson is going for 3 a ball at the moment. And this is first over, 12 off the first 4 balls. This time he plays it out on the offside. Fielder Make sure it's just a dot ball. Slight change in the field, moving JP. And then bowls it on the offside, and that's a fine bit of fielding in the gully. And that's the end of Paul Lawson's over. He actually ended up getting out of it. It was 12 off the first 4 balls and then 2 dot balls. Just hear the rumble in the background. The Merrion Road traffic. I'm sure it'll get a lot busier later on. We're going to lot busier later on with Leinster playing the Cell C Sharks in the Aviva in their URC quarter-final. And don't forget, later tonight we'll have qualifying FP3 and qualifyings 1, 2 and 3 for the Miami Grand Prix. Change of bowling here now. Looks like it'll be Joe Prendergast. To bowl this, the 5th over. Pembroke ringing the changes. Stapleton's bowled 2 of his allocation of 4 at this stage. And Paul Lawson obviously looking to hold him back for the closing overs. Tim Tector now has moved on to 22. And he has had most of the strike. Adam Rossley. He's moved on to 10. And it's him facing now. Just pushes it round the corner, off his hips, takes the single, gets Tim Tector back on strike. YM did win the toss and they decided to bat.
Half 11 starts. Nice, fresh new green pitch.
Well, you might think it's fresh and green pitch, but at the moment the YM batters are making this look very easy. Able to find the boundary. Again, doing very well, picking up the singles, rotating the strike, changing left hand, right hand the whole time. Not making it easy for Pembroke today. In other news, of course, Pembroke Fifths will be heading down to the delights of Pres Beret in a game against North Wicklow County. I don't know what they're called now. That's beautifully punched away behind square on the offside, and that's a class shot. And that just brings another 4 onto the total. What a super shot that was. Too much width from JP. And absolutely crunched away down to the clubhouse boundary. Joe does most of his bowling from the St John's end, and this time over pitching. Low full toss, played away by Rossley. Picks up another 2. Okay, I can hear me anyway. This one's shorter from Prendergast. It doesn't get up at all, and it's clubbed out, but fielded on the boundary, and they just get a single for it. And Joe will be happy enough with that result. More people coming into the ground. Five overs gone, 42 on the board. Tim Tector has moved on to 23. And his partner had a good over there. Adam Rossley, he's moved on to 18 from just 11 balls faced. It's all right, Trevor, it's high enough that you won't be on screen. Paul Lawson now will finish out the power play with his second over. There, Sean. Yep. Best of luck. One of the 5th team players, Sean Smith, heading off down to Bray for that. As Paul Lawson continues. No breakthroughs yet for the Pembroke side. This one driven in the air, but no fielder in the vicinity. Another single brings Tector back on strike, and he'll be eager to face the off-spinner, having taken him for 12 in the last over. And Paul Lawson, of course, will relish the battle. Bit of encouragement through the Pembroke side. Tector coming down the track, looking to take Lawson on. On this occasion, discretion the better part of valor. This time he tries to go for it, and again, doesn't get enough on it for it to reach Danny Hogan. But the single taken. Now Lawson will be turning it away from Rossley. Beats the fielder in the ring. It's going to run away down towards the boundary. Will it be pulled up in front of? JP with a bit of acrobatic work. And he's safe to run there. And that's the end of the 6th over, the end of the power play. And the score has moved on to 47 for naught. JP now will continue to bowl his second of the day. Joe will be grateful for the additional protection outside the ring now. As we say, good morning to Brian Bannigan. Morning, Brian.
Morning.
He's out doing his chores, walking the dog. I'm sure we'll see him down later on at the Leinster quarter-final, if he's not attending it himself. Carved away nicely over the fielder in the gully. It's running down towards the boundary. It reaches the fence, and that's a super shot. Moves Tector on to 28, and that's the 50 up for YM. And the 50 comes up. And the 7th over. These two batsmen are looking certainly well set at this stage. Too short from JP. Powerfully put away behind square leg. Another 4 onto the total. Moves it on to 56. Cooling down now, eh? After all the running around. Just played away, taking the gap, taking the single. Can I just ask one question? Why does that say PB1?
Had this before.
Nice dot ball for Prendergast. Yep. Morning. How are you this morning? Good, good. So Rossley now, he's on 23 and he's edged that one away. He's going to take 4 for that. Last ball of the over, comes off the edge of the bat and flies away to the boundary. Another 4, takes the score on 61. Contrary to what you see on the screen, this isn't Pembroke 1's innings, this is the innings of YMCA. Another change of bowling now. There are the bowling figures to date, and they're not YMCA's bowling figures, they are Pembroke's bowling figures. Technical difficulties. I can assure you that it is YMCA who are batting here. Yeah. Just Cricket Club's doing this. It's not us. We just pull this information off the web, and it says Pembroke. I presume so, yeah.
I'm not going to bother doing anything.
Well,
it's just that the team names reversed. Like, everything's right. Yeah, everything's right. Like the player, it's bizarre. It's all the right. It's all the right people and everything. If you get what I mean. So it's like you can't have the wrong people at the wrong team. So
oh, this one's full, and it's signalled as a no ball. Aidan Sievers at square leg, very quick onto that. No ball signalled. This will be a free hit now. Tim Tector has needed no invitation to wield the willow so far, and now he has the benefit of a free hit as well. Where's he going to be looking for here?
I wouldn't worry about it, just ignore it. It's Cricket Clubs is doing something stupid. Just I doubt there's any way you can do it. It was up Thursday night. Yeah. This will be the game here
That's the free hit, and that is definitely towards straight through the door into the clubhouse beside me. Straight through the door without bouncing, and now ricocheting around the clubhouse itself.
What camera have I left? It's still on me.
It's still on you, but there was an element of, oh my goodness, that was close.
I thought I was saving the camera there.
Have you got a replay of that?
I didn't hit the button. I was too concentrated on everything
yeah.
else to think about hitting the button.
Absolutely, but Tim Texter making the most of the free hit. And now again, driven away. Fielder in the ring, not quite there, but did enough to slow it down and stop it reaching the boundary again.
No, and even if you did, you would probably do it again. Or you wouldn't have just...
So the score now, for James Cresswell's sake, 69 for the loss of no wicket. Giggity.
Yeah, it was definitely
Close.
about the closest we've ever had to...
Yeah. Clipped away, Rossley down to long leg where Pooh Sharma does the fielding.
Straight into the cameras, it goes straight into my teeth.
Yeah, very much so.
It nearly ricocheted for the laptop. Yeah.
Another one towards us. Well, Tim Texter has obviously taken a dislike to the scorers today. He is peppering the clubhouse over here, straight over extra cover. And watch this now.
Take your time. It's all time for this.
Steps across and then just plays it beautifully. Wow, that's how close that was. Andrew Mooney. I don't know if he was signalling back to the umpire or shaking a fist at the batsman. Again, Texter stepping across his stumps and this time playing it down square leg past the fielder who chases it down, keeps them down to 2. And that's the end of the 8th over, and the score has moved on to 78. Going along at just about 11 and over. Oh, 8 overs bowled, so no. Nearly at 10s, just over, just below 10s. Tim Texter has taken no time at all. Just 31 balls so far, and he's just 2 short of that half century. He really did accelerate during that over and open up a gap between himself and his partner. Well, it looks like another change of bowling. Pooh Sharma coming on from the St John's end. And facing Pooh Sharma will be Adam Rossley. He's moved on to 28 now, off 18 balls. Both of these batsmen making a tremendous strike rate so far. All right. And that stat's not up here, is it? Yeah. Pooh Sharma in from the St John's end. Oh, that's close. Texter very keen to get down to the striker's end. Ended up having to make an emergency stop, turn, signal, and head back. And he was fortunate that the throw from the bowler back at the stumps wasn't quite as accurate as it could have been. And he made it back safely. This time drifting onto the batsman's legs. He just clips it away to mid-wicket. The fielder on the boundary does the work. Back into Greg Hollins. They just get a single, but again, this brings Tim Tector on strike, and he's just shy of his half century now. He'll be looking to reach that in, I suspect, just the one shot. So, with 50 balls delivered, the score has moved on to 79. Just the 31 balls so far. 32. Well, as fast as Tim is scoring today, his previous outing scored a century in 43 balls by all reports. Four fours and 3 sixes. Well, there's 34 of his runs just from the 7 balls. That's well bowled by Pooh He's making Tector wait for this half century. You know, you still have that graphic up. Okay.
I could run back in and make some chats. It can stay for a couple of minutes.
It's such a good picture of Tim as well. Accelerating into the crease, Pooh. Tim in no rush today. Moves on to 49. Score has moved on to 80 now in this, the 9th over. Just drops it onto the offside. They get through for the single, and that's the over up. Tector will have to wait a bit longer for this half century. And the score after 9 overs, 81. Nine nines are 81. That's a good over from Pooh. And now another change of bowling. One of the 2 D tuckers. This one is the left arm spinner, Donica. Well, there's a long off. Boundary sweeper, a square on the offside. Man on the 45. Man in the ring on the offside for Tucker. And then on the leg side, 2 on the boundary. 3 if you include the man. Long on. And that just brings Tim Tector onto strike. And he's on 49. Lots of changes to the field, left-hand, right-hand combination. Paul Lawson stations himself at short extra. They'll take the 2, and Tim Tector will take the plaudits. That's a fine half century. It's come up in 35 balls. One feels that having reached that now, he will soon decide. It's time to open up his shoulders, use the long levers. But he's certainly the informed batsman in Sandy Mount at the moment. Smacked away. Well picked up. They'll keep that to a single. Another one played out onto the offside. There's a fielder there on the boundary, and that will keep it just to a single there. It's not that Pembroke have done particularly badly, but YM have done very well in this game so far, ranking up the runs. Bowling's been there or thereabouts, but these two batsmen, well, they haven't looked in any trouble, and they have pushed the score on now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 overs gone. Halfway stage. And the score is 87 for the loss of no wickets. And I have to say, YMCA probably the happier of the two. And they will be looking at a total of somewhere in the region of 180, if not more. And again, we apologise for the misinformation on your screen. It's not Pembroke's innings. This is the innings of YMCA. And these are the bowling figures of Pembroke. Slight glitch in the system this morning. So just the 6 bowlers used so far. Pooh Sharma, certainly the most economical of them. And he's continuing now from St John's End. Oh, it's gone through the fielder. He's going to be disappointed with that. Straight through his legs, through his hands. 4 more onto the total. Well, that's the first real mistake in the field. Luckily enough, it hasn't cost Pembroke a wicket or anything, but it did cost them 3 runs. This time, Tector just punches it out towards cow corner. I say that as if it was agricultural. Certainly wasn't. Well-timed shots. Pushed away. Slight slip from the bowler. Nicely played. Well, there was a chance for a second there. but after 10 overs, it was very brief as they went past the microphones.
They're kind of obvious.
Yeah. Now Pooh Sharma coming in. And that's being clubbed down the ground. Cries of catch it. Well, it wasn't there for the fielder. And it's just another single for YMCA. They're approaching 3 figures now. Certainly over a dozen down now, doing various different things. Prendergast and the president heading off on another lap. Brian Bannigan back down, this time without the dog, and that is a beautiful, beautiful shot. It actually deserved the 6, but it bounces just inside the rope. Last ball of the over. Slightly less successful over for Pooh Sharma. And that brings the score on to 98 for no wicket off 11. Tim Tector having compiled the first half century of the morning. And Adam Rossley, well, he's not too far away himself. Change of gloves in the middle for the players, for the bats. I think Greg Hollins, he's happy enough with the gloves he has behind the sticks. And Donica Tucker will be bowling the 12th over. Well, the weather hasn't picked up, but neither has it deteriorated. It's still bright enough and dry enough. That's the important thing. It is still early May. It is still the springtime. That's well bowled by Tucker. You can see the intent that Tector has at this stage. He's going to want to take this, to go deep into this innings. Oh. Bounces 5 yards in front of the fielder. That long off. It was in the air for a little while. That takes the score on to 99. Brings Adam Rossley on to face. The left arm spin of the mullet-wearing Donica Tucker. This one's gone short. It's pulled around, and it clears the fielder, it clears the rope, it clears the fence, and crashes into the wall, and adds 6 onto the total, and that brings up the 100 for YMCA, and takes Adam Rossley into the 40s. Good camera work now. Oh, this one's going a long way. That's clearing the clubhouse. That's gone a long way, and it's probably still travelling. Anything going that far, you should be able to get duty free on it. One suspects that that has left the postcode. One now the score in the 11th over. And batsman number 1. There's an awful lot of ones on the scoreboard. Well, a new ball comes out of the dressing rooms. And Joe's brought another couple with him. Well, Brian, what's your prediction for the rugby today? It's going to be a tough one. I'm glad it's up here and not down there. Yep. 9 changes, though, from the European game. But that's why we've been squad rotation all the way through. Nah. Again, another one pushed into the surface by Donica Tucker. Fine bit of fielding by Captain Lawson. Yes. Just push down the ground. And that's 50 for Adam Rossley. And he'll be delighted with that. It's taken him 42 balls. And there's 2 half centuries. As YM have yet to lose a wicket. And these 2 have put on 112. Tim Textor now on 60. But Adam Rossley, he'll be delighted to have reached the landmark. 50. Coming off 31 balls. The acceleration button, pedal, seems to have been pushed at this stage. That's why I'm going in search of batting Pembroke out of the game. Oh, beautifully struck straight down the ground. Fine piece of fielding, but it won't stop them getting 3. That'll take the score on to 115. Still no wickets down here. Tough day in the field for Pembroke so far, and they have a second T20 later on. Another one hit straight back down the ground. Another single. Another one onto the total. Played away beautifully on the offside, square of the wicket. Joe Prendergast does the fielding. That brings Tim Textor back on strike. It's good to be able to see the Dublin Mountains today. You couldn't do that on Thursday. Thursday it was very, very muggy. In fact, downright wet, really, wasn't it? Oh, it's a full toss, and it's clubbed away into the gardens. They're going to need another ball. Good job, Joe brought out another one. Fabulous 6, just punted into the gardens. And low full toss or not, Tim Textor is having very little difficulty here. He's onto that so quickly and just pushes it. Timing absolutely spot on, and it disappears into the gardens. You can see how quickly Joe Prendergast saw that the extra ball was going to be required.
Huh?
Well, the umpire's not happy with the ball that Joe delivered, so they're going back to the dressing rooms to see if they can find another one. And let's be honest, with 1, 2, 3 on the board in this, the 13th over, you would have the feeling that YMCA wouldn't really mind which ball is used. it's called. Joe bringing out a selection for the umpires to choose from now. As I say, I don't think YMCA are going to mind which one of these three balls the umpires finally settle on. And one feels if they keep batting the way they are, they're going to use all three anyway, so what's the problem here? And now we're checking the roundness of the balls. No doubt the weighing scales will come out as well. And we're just short of some white polish being applied. I see we have a couple of visitors from across the road. Of railway refugees coming over to the warm side of Park Avenue. So after that break in play, Sharma will be looking to finish out his over from the St John's end. Two remaining in this, the 13th over. Good calling from Ross Lee. And absolute trust from Tim Tector. As soon as his partner called him, he headed off. Rumbles of the southbound dart assailing your speakers. As that rumble just fades out into the background, Sharma out with the last ball of this over, and it's hit in the air and it falls just in front of the fielder. Well, on another day, that miss hit may have carried to a fielder, but not today. He's out towards, and you could see the fielder calculating it was going to ground in front of him, and nothing could be done about taking the single. 1-2-5 then of 1-2-6 off 13 overs. 1-2-5. Tim Tector's moved on to 67. It's just taken him the 45 balls. Ross Lee, 55 off 34. Well, these two have been batting beautifully today. Absolute exhibition. Chanceless, no catches put down. And a couple of magnificent sixes. One of which nearly took out Noel Walsh on his camera. Went straight into the clubhouse through the door. But the most impressive one so far today was the one that went straight over our heads. Single off the first ball. Well, this has been superb from YMCA's opening pair. It's a slower ball from Lawson. And it gets dispatched, and it's another 6 runs onto the total, 1-3-2. Heading towards that 10 and over. And from here, you expect them to accelerate. Well, Tector moves on to 73. And he goes big again. It's a bursting through the fielder's hands. Hell of a shot. Another 6. Tector moves on to 79. Oh, another one bounces just in front of the fielder. And they're going to take 2 anyway. Oh, this is good running. Tector moves into the 80s. This one goes short. It's hit way out to the boundary, and this time the catch is taken, and Tim Tector falls for 81. And the first wicket falls with the score on 140. In this, the 14th over. Well, what a start. Morning. Well, one Tector replaced by another. A well set fielder, and he's delighted with the catch. So one Tector replaced by another. Six 6.1 overs to go. And the question still is to see just how many YMCA are going to total here. What sort of target are they going to set Pembroke? And as Tim Tector takes his place on the sidelines, he's replaced by brother Jack. Well, a distinct bit of solid defence there from Jack Tector off the first ball faced. So 1 wicket down, and that's a partnership of 140 for the YM openers, and by golly, they've got to be pleased with that. What a good start. You might want to tell them. Adam Lee, and suddenly a second wicket falls with the score on 140. Adam Rossley, part of that 140 partnership with Tim Tector, and now the two of them have fallen with the score on 140. That's a super knock. 56 for Adam Rosser. Pooh Sharma with the full toss. He couldn't quite get enough power into it. He was rocked back on his heels, and then they only allowed him to scoop it up. And the second wicket falls. And now out to the middle, Jamie Forbes. Isn't cricket a funny game? You have an opening partnership of 140, and then 2 wickets fall. There you go, confirmed for the scorers, confirmed for our viewers. Nick Stapleton taking the catch. Pooh Sharma starting this, the 15th over, with a wicket. And now he has, in an exact carbon copy of the opening partnership. We have a right-handed Tector and a left-handed partner. Well, it worked well for YMCA in the first 15 overs. Why not continue with it? Jamie Forbes it is who's facing now. This one just played out through the two, between the two fielders on the offside. Joe Prendergast coming in from the boundary, does the tidying up, but can't stop the single. And that means that Jack Tector will now be facing Pooh Sharma's second half of his over. This is last over. It's well dug out. And we go for the quick single. Jack gets the quick single. A few more people taking seats along the wall, watching what has been a fine performance from YMCA here. They're on top of the game. They're taking the singles when they can, and with what appears to be very little risk. Sorry? Who's your best bet there? Oh, he plays a most unorthodox shot that puts him on his backside, but he got enough on the ball, and it's 4 runs, almost straight through the keeper, and that's the end of Pooh Sharma's spell. One for 33 from his 4 overs, and the score has now moved on to 147 for 2. And Paul Lawson now will also bowl his final over. 5 overs to go. Score 147 for 2. 2 relatively fresh batsmen out to the middle. YMCA will look to push for these last 5, and they've started there already. It's going to drop short of Danny Hogan. They'll only get a single, But you can see the intent is there from the YM players. They are looking for 200 here at this stage. Just 2 wickets down. 29 balls to go. Well, they're certainly targeting straight down the ground for Paul Lawson. This one's up in the air. And it's a fine catch. Wasn't quite set there, but kept his eye on the ball. Took it over his head. And that's the end of Jamie Forbes. And he goes for just 3. And the score 149. And this, the 16th over. Well, the last 3 overs have each seen a wicket fall, which will be to Pembroke's delight. But again, with so many wickets in hand, you can see he's making lots of ground, trying to get himself steady, and then realises he's not quite there for it, but still keeps his eye on it. And makes the safe catch, and Lawson gets a wicket. Well, Clontarf are playing civil service today, and Killian McDonnell of Clontarf has taken 5 for 9 from 4 overs. Well, that's the sort of bowling figures Pembroke would have loved this morning. Instead, YM have passed the 150 mark. Oh, nobody knew where that was or where it was going. Lawson with a slower floated ball up there, and Jack Tector just pushes it down the ground and takes the single that he's been offered. So 4 overs remaining. There is the YMCA, and I emphasise the YMCA card. Tim Tector with 81 from 49, and Adam Rossley 56 from 36. Well, they've been the backbone. They took the score from the start of the innings to 140 for no wicket, and then 2 wickets fell on that score. And then Jamie Forbes has also since departed the middle. Phoenix are playing Balbriggan today. Phoenix are currently 94 for 3 of 16 overs. Civil Service are 39 for 6 of 9 overs.
I'm just thinking if he's reading out scores, there could be.
And yes, the live centre is showing Pembroke as 151 for 3. JP throwing one down into the keeper's gloves. Bit of bounce. Terranure are also going well, 139 for 4 in their game against Railway Union. And North County 121 for 5 off 18. Jack again. Jack Tector again lifting this one over the keeper. 4 more onto the total. Score moves on to 155. Russia, another team that have reached 100 for 5 off 15. And Leinster against Trinity, well, Leinster are 67 for 6. Whereas in Merion against North Kildare, Merion are 160 for 4. Pembroke fifths are playing Wicklow County seconds today down in Presentation Bray. A lot of cricket going on around the province. Joe Prendergast deciding not to let go of the ball on this occasion. Dead ball signalled by Aidan Sievers. His partner standing out at square leg, keeping a close eye on things. Ashley Burton now to face. He's only faced one ball. Strike rate of 100. And this time clips it away. Wide long on. Two players converging, keeping it to a single. Bringing Jack Tector back on strike. And let's see what sort of shots he starts to play now. 3.5 overs to go. 21 balls. And again, another dead ball. I don't know if Joe's just not happy with his run-up or whether he's trying to keep Burton in his crease. Good piece of fielding. Make sure that no run is taken. Bouncy Castle down on the junior pitch today. One suspects there's a christening or a confirmation or something that involves small people. Well, 3 overs to go, 17 gone. A score on 158 for 3. Joe Prendergast, 3 overs for 30. There is the Pembroke, and I emphasise Pembroke bowling card. Paul Lawson with 2 wickets, 2 for 36. And Pooh Sharma, the other one to have taken a wicket. There's the Manhattan, and that really is Manhattan. As you can see on the worm, there has been a slight slowing down of the scoring rate. You can see the various accelerations undertaken by Tim Tector, Adam Russ-Lee, in those first 140 runs. But since then, Pembroke starting to peg things back. Nick Stapleton now bowling from the nursery end. Naught for 6 off his 2 overs. Burton doing a fine job calling through there. One that didn't get more than 6 feet away from the batsman. But just enough on it and an awkward enough position to allow the single be taken. Burton taking that one on the full. Timing taking it all the way out to the boundary. If anything, too quickly. Put the kibosh on anything other than a single. Well, that was a bluff and counter bluff there. Stapleton putting in a slower ball. Jack Tector having to improvise to get bat on ball. But it was another single onto the total. Oh, he's done the batsman there. It's come off the shoulder of the bat and run past the keeper. They get another single, but that was definitely a win for the bowler. "14 balls remaining. The score has moved on to 162 for 3. Even a runner ball is going to get them up over 175. Oh, that's nicely clipped away. Taking it on the full, playing it down to long leg. Another single. Well, the exploding batting we saw earlier from Tim, not quite replicated by these two. Another one on the full. This one almost taking out Aidan Seaver at square leg. And again, it's another single. And that's the end of that over. And 2 overs remaining. Well, who's he going to turn to for these final 2 overs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has used 6 bowlers, so he does have a bit of flexibility. A few options in front of him, Paul Lawson. And for the moment, it appears he's turning to JP, Joe Prendergast. Well, the field is well spread. A slight edge, enough to get it away from the keeper, and it's going to run to the boundary, and it's 4 more onto the total. Finest of edges. But that takes Burton on to 9. Takes the score up to 168. Still with 11 balls to go, Pembroke are going to need. 169, so 170, 8.5 and over, even if YM didn't score another run from here on in, which is very unlikely. Another nice shot. Jack Tector just steering it down to Pooh Sharma. Knowing his partner would come down for the single. That's the 170 up for YMCA. And this time, Burton just steps inside it, plays it out on the leg side, down towards the clubhouse door. The bar door, really. 6 more onto the total. See it here now. See him just stepping inside. Joe saw it, tried to follow him, but he got enough on it for it to disappear from sight. I think this is now the 4th ball we've used in this innings. New fence was put up last year. But at the moment, YM seem more than capable of clearing even that fence. Burton stepping across again. This time, Prendergast rattling into the pads as umpire Aidan Sievers checks with the scorers that there is in fact one ball remaining in this over, the penultimate. Well, that was well played, and that's going to run away for 4 down to the third man. 2 fielders there, neither one of them could get anywhere near it. That's a super shot. Lovely shot from Burton, and he's scoring at over 200 now. And with 1 over to go, the score has moved on to 180. Well, a final over to be bowled by Nick Stapleton. Six balls remaining in the over. What will YM get to? Well, it'll certainly be over 180 anyway. One played round to the leg side. Pooh Sharma doing the fielding. Just a single. Well, we've certainly had an exhibition of clean hitting today from the YM openers. Another one just clipped down to Pooh Sharma. Another single. A few more people coming into the ground, including the membership secretary. McDarragh doing some fine fielding. Oh, and it's the throw just evading Greg Hollins on the bounce, and it allows YM to get through for an overthrow. Fielding by Pembroke has been generally quite good here today. Certainly no chances have been put down, except maybe, just maybe, one of the sixes bursting through a fielder's hands earlier. Yes. Another single. 185 on the board now. Every single adding to the total, increasing the size of the task that will be facing Pembroke in the second innings of this T20. Sherwin, oh, I don't know who sponsors this actually these days. And that's another single, and 1 ball remaining in this innings. He's gone big for it. It's coming down towards the fielder, and the catch is taken by Danny Hogan. And what a fine way to end the innings for Nick Stapleton, taking his first wicket of the day with the last ball of the innings. Well, tremendous innings for YMCA. They've reached 186 for 4. And here it is, the final ball of the innings. Just getting underneath it a bit, and Danny Hogan doing well to make some ground, steady himself, and that was always going to be taken. Well, the roller goes out as the batsmen leave the field of play, and YM will be delighted with a total of 186 for 4. Well, it was hard work for Pembroke, but they persevered, they kept going, and after that opening stand of 140, YMCA
only able to make 46 for 4 after the opening partnership was broken.
So at this stage, we'll take a 10-minute break, and we'll join you again for the start of the second innings.
Are you going to bowl or do you want to field? Okay.
after these next 20
That,
overs.
but
Ruben, first
you've
one,
done it, so that's your
cover,
fault.
third man to the end. So let's be switched on, lads, for 20 overs here. Okay, let's give it everything.
Well, you heard the huddle of YMCA, and they now head out to the middle, where they'll be looking to defend 186 that they scored. Still showing 186 there. Okay, I'm happy.
He's probably waiting to know who the opening.
Sorry.
Exactly.
So, opening the bowling will be Ruben Wilson, and batting for Pembroke, Nick Stapleton opening and number 1, and Dermot Tucker will be number 2. So 120 balls to get 187. If anybody is coming down to the club, could they bring a pint of milk with them? We'll make the coffees inside. The coffee machine's working inside. The only problem is no cow juice to go with it. I'm not quite at the stage of needing black coffee. That one's short, and first ball of the innings goes for 6 runs. Stapleton very quickly onto that. Well, that's the first shot I've seen him play this season, and you'll see the replay here. He's onto it so quickly and just powers it away. And that's 6 runs straight onto the window.
Didn't sound like it smashed.
No, it didn't sound like it smashed.
People examining it.
This one defended, played back down the pitch, dot ball. So Wilson to come in now from the St John's end. And this one, Stapleton just lets go through to the keeper. Adam Rossley, who had a fine knock in the first innings, got his half century and provided great support to Tim Tector. The two of them putting on 140 for that opening partnership in 15 overs, 14 overs. Played away down towards third. There is a fielder down there. Ollie Riley doing the fielding down at the Wheelfield Road gate. There's actually some blue sky. Cloud breaking up a bit. The darker clouds over the west of the city. Maybe providing a shower or two down the N7 or the N81. Whereas here, Sydney Parade, we have this T20 game. That's another super shot. They're looking for 2. They're going to take 2, and Dermot Tucker makes it.
No. Definitely not dead when it hits the sunset.
Oh no.
You must have seen plenty of overthrows off direct hits.
Thinking about it now.
So Wilson coming in again. And again, played down towards third, where Ollie Riley will do the fielding. And that's the end of the first over. And that's a good over for Pembroke. 10 off it. Helped in no small measure from that beautiful 6 hit by Stapleton. So Bailey now with his off spin. Oh, left arm spin. This one takes the edge of Tucker's bat. Well backed up. Tucker getting a single off the edge of his bat. A few changes to the field now. Stapleton facing. Man goes out to Cal. And the man stays out at long off. Those are the two men outside the circle for this power play. Two more to Stapleton. And he's looking for the sight screen to be moved. Well, that slashed away through the offside between the two fielders. And that's 4 more onto the total. And Stapleton moves very quickly onto 13. His second boundary. This one along the carpet. Goes for the same shot again. This time the fielder gets a hand to it. Saves 3 runs. Stapleton gets down to the non-striker's end. And now Dermot Tucker. Fielder out on the boundary now. On the offside. As the fielder trots out to Cow again. And that fielder on the offside boundary comes back into the ring. Well bowled, good over, 9 from it. Well, this is starting to look like it's going to be an intriguing game. Pembroke are hustling between the stumps. Stapleton and Tucker will be looking to take this through the power play without a loss of wicket. That's what they'll be hoping for. Wham will be looking to knock over 1 or 2 during the power play. Tucker looking at the vast expanse of grass out by square leg. He'll be looking to push it round that corner if he can. Anything on his hips. And that one's edged through. He's edged it straight through to the keeper. Ross Lee taking a very simple catch. And it's gone through. And that's the first wicket falls with 19 on the board. In this, the third over.
I didn't need to press the button to change camera there, but I did.
Let's see here. Here is the dismissal of Tucker. He just does enough to get an edge onto it and play it through to the keeper. 19 for 1. New batsman heading out to the middle now. Danny Hogan. Danny, who took that catch off the last ball of the first innings. And he's certainly capable of big hits. Wielding the willow. Couple of dozen people in on along the wall now. Turned up for this intriguing Alan Murray Cup T20. Reuben Wilson to continue from the St John's end as the kite kites. Keep the birds off the seed on the junior pitch behind him. This one played out in the offside, well fielded. Dot ball. You can see where Hogan was looking for. Well, we have some more balloons making their way down Cyril's way. World Communion Championships being held in Pembroke today. This time it comes flying off the edge of the bat, goes down to third man. Ollie Riley does the fielding. Another single onto the total. And Danny Hogan off the mark. Stapleton playing it out on the offside. Fielder there. Dot ball. Well, 1:30. No news as yet from Pembroke as to how Pembroke's fifths are getting on today. Another dot ball. Hi, Ryan.
No news is good news from the fives, or no news is bad news from the fives.
Well, I think
Or just no news is...
I think it's no news we're in the field. However, the question has been asked on WhatsApp if anybody is near Pembroke or near their phone, they might update us. Just looking round the match centres. Balbriggan are chasing 122 for victory. Clontarf chasing. Oh, in a reduced overs game. Clontarf chasing 94 off 16. Wide ball, first one of the day. No, first one of the innings. Big appeal, everyone's appealing, and the finger goes up slowly. But Danny Hogan has to depart, LBW. 21 for 2, and that's the fourth over. As we wait for Danny to leave the field, we'll quickly rip round the grounds. Railway at 43 for none. As you get to see just how I think I'd love to see that one again on DRS and see if it was sliding down or umpire's call.
I can't give you DRS, I can't give you zooms, I can't give you anything else other than this. We can play it again. No, I'm doing it.
Bowling from wide on the crease. I think he can count himself a little unlucky there, Danny Hogan. I think at best that would have been umpire's call, but to me it seemed to be sliding down the leg side. However, very easy to do here with replay after replay. The umpire's out in the middle, just get to see it live. So Railway 43 for none, chasing Cheroniers 151. And Malahide 44 for 2, chasing North Counties 128. The Hills are chasing 120, a runner ball, and at the moment they're 16 for 1. And Trinity are 26 for no wicket, chasing Leinster's 84. North Kildare, 17 for 1, chasing 219 for victory against Merion. And then in Division 16, Swords are 14 for none. Pembroke thirds today across the road. As JJ Garth gets off the mark. Pembroke thirds are 13 for 3. Not an ideal start for the thirds. Jürgen Badenhorst and Ethan Clark are the ones batting there at the moment. And obviously we'd like to say good afternoon to Gordon Clark, who I suspect is across the road. Sahil, he went for a duck. Ethan Clark, the other opener, is currently on 6. Noah Smith out for 6, and Bruce Whaley caught and bowled for 1. Well, not an ideal start for Pembroke, but they'll fight through. And that's the fourth over finished, and the score here is 24 for 2. Still a bit of batting to come in that third team. Athlone entertaining Phoenix fourths today. And YM thirds are in Claremont Road against Wexford Wanderers. Well, that's our trip around the grounds for the moment. We can try that again later. But now Pembroke with their third wicket partnership. Jonathan Garth, Nick Stapleton. The thing about this 20 overs is you don't have much time to rebuild. You've got to go chasing, and chasing hard all the way. Tom Anders now to bowl from the St John's end. Pembroke fifths are in the field down in Pembroke. No doubt Kieran Volker, his final season here before he heads back to Australia. He'll be looking to bowl his 8 overs today.
40 overs today.
JJ Garth is spending his Wednesday evenings down training the lower men's teams and doing a fabulous job keeping people engaged, fielding practice, something that hasn't been done for the lower team for quite a while. This time he has a flash at one outside off and it just thuds into the keeper's gloves. Oh, it's cleared the fielder. It's running away. They will get just the 2 for it. You can see what Garth was aiming for. Clearing the ring in these first 6 overs. Just the 2 fielders outside. Third man now coming into the ring. Man out the fence at cow corner. And a man at mid-off. Those are the 2 outside the ring. As that Tom Anders comes in again. And this one has beaten everybody. It's going to run away for 4 byes. Runs. Well, welcome runs for Pembroke. Takes them on to 30. Still 157 required. Required rate will start to climb. Just pushed away onto the leg side. Take the single. Rotate the strike. So the required rate already slipping above 10. 10.4. Well, there's the Pembroke card. Bailey 1 for 13 off 2. He'd be looking to keep it to that sort of economy rate, put more pressure on the Pembroke batsman. But this time they've gone big. It's cleared the fence. Well, that'll be the end of that ball. That's a beautiful strike. 6 onto the total.
Camera change. I must have.
Well, he took the spinner on, aiming for the camera straight behind the stumps.
Okay, so the camera changes now just to be.
Yep.
I tracked it nicely, but no, the camera didn't change, so it didn't show.
It hit the roof, not the roof.
Nick Stapleton looking for a drink at the end of the over. New ball comes out. Well, that's really put a dent into Bailey's figures. 1 for 19 now of 14 balls.
Give me back my replay machine. It's just not the same doing those.
Well, Nick Stapleton has been starved the strike somewhat here, and it's enabled Jonathan Garth, to catch him. So Bailey, the left arm spinner, will go again.
Perfect timing.
Oh, this time he's got underneath it. That's not what he wanted. And he's gone. Came off the edge of the bat, spinning away from the right-hander. Head in the air. And the third wicket falls with the score on 37.
And the camera did change that time at least. Here we are.
And the 6 over. And you can see, well, there were plenty of candidates to take the catch. And so JJ Garth stay at the middle. Short and productive. Beautiful 6. Greg Collins, who's been the strength and conditioning coach within Cricket Ireland, has now moved jobs
Oh, you're happy with them?
and he has headed. Yeah, that's better. He's headed to the IRFU as strength and conditioning coach. Bit of turmoil there with the resignation yesterday of Greg McWilliams. Hollis placed the sweep shot, gets enough on it to get it past the keeper. There's no fielder down there, so it'll enable them to take 2. And they do, and that brings the score up to 40.
Departed on Monday.
Hmm?
Reported he departed on Monday.
Hit straight back down the ground. It split 2 fielders, but the third one pulls it up in front of the fence and keeps them to 2. Fine bit of fielding, chasing round. A number of players who could have made it there, but Greg Hollins now has moved on to 4 from just the 2 deliveries faced. One feels that Nick Stapleton is going to need some support, and who's going to be the one to provide it with him? Oh, it won't be Greg Hollins. Well, on this occasion, Bailey put one down into the track a bit. It sat up, and Greg Hollins has just slapped it straight to the fielder. And that's another wicket falls. You can see here Bailey going around the wicket, and he pushed that one in. It sat up, and because he was on the back foot, Hollins couldn't get the power he wanted into the shot, and he steered it straight to the fielder's hands. He'll be disappointed with that. He's been in good form with the bat so far this year, but not to be today. Well, 42 for 4. Two wickets falling in the over. A very successful one for Bailey. So 4 wickets down, and Stapleton is still there. The lone beacon in the Pembroke innings so far. Well, Tom Anders now. Just played to third where it's fielded, and he's out. He's run out. Well, that's a short innings for McDarragh Cosgrave. Name not even making it onto the screen before he too has to depart, and that's 5 down now. 42 for 5.
Not sure if I got this right or wrong. Replaying the last one.
Well, this is Bailey's wicket. One from the last innings, last over, where Greg Hollins just slaps it into the fielder's hands. So, 42 for 5. 7 overs gone. YMCA have got to be feeling that they've got this one well and truly under their control. It's theirs to lose now. .42 for 5.
Okay.
Another one played down to the same spot, fielded by the same player, but this time the single safely completed. Oh look, there's even more blue sky. And finally, Stapleton gets back onto strike. Some technical difficulties with our score on your screen. I can assure you it is 42 for 5. And this one again played down to third, where Ollie Riley still fielding down there, still doing a good job, still keeping it to singles. Another quick single taken. Another one where had it hit the stumps, there certainly would have been questions asked of the umpire. 45 for 5 now. And it appears our technical difficulties have been dealt with. The score on the screen now is the actual score. It's almost like the sun's about to break through. And this one clipped straight past the keeper. The third man comes around, collects it. Just another single. Paul Lawson certainly batting at number 7 wouldn't have seen himself being in before the end of the power play. And yet that's the situation that Pembroke find themselves in. As the sun finally cracks through the cloud, I see Philip Byrne arriving. Hopefully Byrne has bought the Bonya. And look at that sky. Well, and it's science or God, I'll leave that to your own consciences. But either way, isn't it amazing? How does all that water stay up in the air? And isn't it nice to see some blue sky between the clouds? Well, that brief moment of sunshine is now gone as it disappears behind another bank of cloud. And Riley now, after doing some fine fielding down at third, he now takes on the bowling from the nursery end, and he starts with a wide.
Suddenly swap the teams for you.
He's only brilliant. Don't give him big head.
Nicely played out on the leg side, but there is a fielder out there, and that will just be a single.
Heard old boys and girls, the tables were all taken down. Now all the boys are going back up.
That very distinct crouch style of Paul Lawson's. This one he plays down to third, where Anders does the fielding. Are you going to the game this afternoon, Trevor? On your own or with daughter?
Daughter and daughter's friend and Mr. Walker.
Excellent. That'll be a good afternoon. Just looking to run that one down as well to third. Riley receiving the congratulations of his teammate. And Pembroke just on the brink now of a team half century. Bit of extra effort put in there by Riley. Unfortunately, he dragged it down and forced it a bit wide, and the umpire quick to signal that. And that brings up the 50 for Pembroke. 50 on the board. 137 now required off 13. Again, the run rate just above 10. But the main concern for Pembroke at the moment is wickets. This one's going to land safely. Trisecting the fielders. And they get 2 for it. Well, you can hear from the encouragement that YM are giving each other. Two balls left in this, the 8th over. Stapleton coming down the track and then having to adjust himself. And Paul Lawson, small lapse of concentration. Fielder trying to throw down the stumps at the non-striker's end, and one wonders where Lawson would have been had it hit. He may have been on his way back to the pavilion. Punched out in the offside, just another single. And that concludes the 8th over. .134 of 12. You can see the Pembroke Worm was ahead briefly for the first over, level for the second and third. And since then, those wickets have caused that Pembroke line to dip well below. There's the Pembroke card. Numbers 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 have all departed. Bailey doing most of the damage today. He's got 3. But for now, it'll be Tom Anders to continue from the St John's end. That one missed by the fielder. Oh, they were looking for a second, but wisely left it well enough alone. They wouldn't have even got halfway. They wouldn't even have crossed. As the sun comes out again, shadows on the ground. And hopefully a little bit of warmth with that sun as well. .54 for 5. Nick Stapleton, the one beacon at the moment, he's on 22. But at the moment, Lawson facing. He gets enough of an edge on that. It's going to run away down to the boundary where Ollie Riley can't stop them taking 2, but does save 2. The old Diesel heading down the west, or down the east coast. The sounds of the city around us now. Train going past, sirens. This one hit out again towards extra cover. There is a fielder there, but he can't stop the single. Required rate, slowly but surely, creeping up again. It's been a while since Pembroke hit a boundary. As we close in on 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Slower ball attempted. It'll just be another single though. He's tried to go big, but instead he's picked out the fielder on the boundary. He set himself beautifully to judge that catch. And that's the 6 wicket down, 58 on the board. Well, Nick Stapleton seems to be having the opportunity to bat with everybody on the Pembroke side today. This one just scooped out. You can see the fielder made sure. Takes the catch. Fine bit of camera work by Niall. And Paul Lawson departs, having scored 6. So Zach Micklewright has taken to the middle, where he'll join Nick Stapleton. He'll be Nick's 7th partner so far. .58 for 6. The sunshine shines through again. You can feel the temperature rise a degree or two. Well, Zach Micklewright, left-handed. Joined us coming over from South Africa this year. The first thing he does is carve one behind point. Well, that had a bit of everything in it. A bit of comedy. Stapleton losing his footing, but making sure of his ground. Righty now from the nursery end, punches one through, and again the fielder on the boundary. He's been doing a fine job there. Took a catch in the last over. This time saves the boundary, saves 3 runs. That'll bring Micklewright back on to strike. Well, Micklewright has finally found the fence. 4 runs, and that's been the first boundary in quite a while for Pembroke. And they'd be grateful of any runs at all here. That will take them on 65. Run rate not too bad for Pembroke. The more worrying thing is 6 wickets down. Changing field between left-hander and right-hander. Whereas earlier on we saw 1-1-1 on the board. It's now all the 6s. 66 for 6. And Micklewright is on 6. So that's the halfway stage in Pembroke's reply. They've moved on to 67 for 6. Just the 120 required then from the last 10 overs. And even my basic mathematical skills can tell you that that's over a runner ball. $60 balls to get 120 runs. Don't need Michael Clark to tell you. Pembroke require 12 and over. And is continuing now from the St John's end. Stapleton punching him down the ground for a single. Well, it's turning into a lovely afternoon there. A bit of blue sky, a bit of sunshine. Still a bit of a breeze. Don't come down in shorts and a t-shirt. Zach Micklewhite. Introducing himself to his Pembroke teammates today. And again, a single taken. Accurate throwing, accurate fielding from YMCA. Leaving the umpires to reconstruct the wicket at the bowler's end. Attempted ramp. Tom Anders making his way in. And that's missed by everybody. And that's another boundary. And that is much needed by the Pembroke total. Four byes signalled after consultation between the two umpires.
No, it's, I'll tell you what, yeah, it's the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. I just have to hold it. Yeah.
Gone big, and again the man out at Cow Corner takes the catch, and another wicket departs. Seven down now, 73 on the board.
Let's see how bad the job is.
And just slapped out. Not enough power. to clear the fielder. And it results in a very tidy catch. And this Pembroke innings is starting to peter out now as Nick Stapleton, the one hope that Pembroke had there, he departs the field. 73 for 7. And Nick Stapleton replaced by Joe Prendergast. 7 down now. You get the feeling that Pembroke aren't going to poke around for 9 overs to get to 100. They'd rather go down fighting.
Practice 16 innings, 16 overs into the first innings. I predicted the banners. If we're going to chase it, we'd chase it for 8. So I'm still on track.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I still think you're wrong, but,
So do I.
but you're still in with a chance now. Ollie Riley to continue then from the nursery end as YM go in hunt of these 3 more wickets. 9 overs to go. And Zach Mickle right. Big swing. And no ding. Well, the umpire signalling wide, so I hardly think he's going to give it out, caught behind. Another dot ball for YM. Would be most welcome now. Put more and more pressure on. One lofted over the ring, finds turf in front of the fielder on the fence, and another single to the Pembroke total. Well, glorious sunshine now. Oh, well fielded in the gully. Keeps that to a dot ball. Well, in the Phoenix Park, Phoenix defending 122. Have Balbriggan 74 for 2 off 11. So that is shaping up to be a lovely game. Balbriggan needing 48 from 9 overs. Down the leg side, another wide ball. Almost welcome for Pembroke. Right, with 4 overs to go, Clontarf require 21 against Civil Service. And Malahide closing in on North County's 128. Well, they're 121 for 3, with 6 overs to get those 7, 8 runs they require. The Hills look to be chasing down Roche's 119 quite handily. They're 101 for 1 in 12 overs. And Dublin University 75 for 2, 6 overs to get 10 runs to beat Leinster. That's a lovely shot. Driven away over extra cover. Cleared the ring. No fielder on the fence exactly there. So that one runs away. There's 4 more. Takes Pembroke on to 81 for 7 after 12 overs. North Kildare 60 for 4 in pursuit of Merion's enormous 218. In Division 16, Swords 44 for 1 off 14. Over in Railway, after 20 overs, Pembroke 75 for 6. Joe Prendergast facing now. Now he may be coming in at number 9. But he has a century to his name last year. That's lifted. It's going to be 6. It hits the fence and disappears behind the wall. Well, Trevor Freeman having a look over. You see this one just sliding in, runs into the fence and then just drops behind the wall. Nice shot. Shows what Joe is capable of. And now Pembroke require 100 from the final 8 overs. Current run rate of 7.4. Required run rate has now gone up to 13.04. That 6 will have helped, but they're going to need an awful lot more of that if they're to succeed here now today. Good length, pushing it through. Yorking Joe's attempt to drive it through the offside. Yeah, 10 minutes without it. You'll be putting your gilet back on. Fielder there on the offside. Nice shot from Joe. Put straight to the fielder. Clontarf need 4. Again, you wouldn't be too worried, except for those 7 wickets to a full. Well, they'll have Pembroke in a precarious position now. Tries to go big on this. It's going to find the grass anyway. It's not going to go for the boundary. They'll just take 2 there. So 13 overs gone, 7 to go. And Pembroke need 98 of 7 overs. $14 and over. Yep, temperature just dropping a couple of degrees as it does. Jamie Forbes now will be bowling from the nursery end. White just not making the contact he wanted on that, and that runs away as a leg bye. Brings Joe back onto strike. Well, there's no doubt about it. This game is definitely YM's. Only they can lose it from here. Jamie Forbes. Starting with 2 dots. Oh, that's a very soft dismissal. Didn't really commit to coming down the track, but did leave his crease, and as the ball beat him, simplest of jobs for Rossley behind the sticks. Floating it in, just turning it away from the right-hander, and he was stranded a long way down the track. Joe Prendergast then departs after his brief cameo, and his place is now taken by Donica Tucker. We saw Grandad last week down in Terenure. Yep. Which final? No involvement. It goes by quickly. See you later, Ryan. So 90 for 8 then. Donica Tucker now going in, number 10. Just Pooh Sharma to come after. And Donica gets off the mark. Just pushing it down the ground. And that's the end of the over. 14 gone. And the score is 91 for 8. Well, Pembroke just about 50 runs behind where YM were at the same stage of their innings. YM at this stage has only lost the 1 wicket in the last over. Pembroke 8 down. Donica again, playing it out on the offside. Man on the boundary fields it, keeps them to a single. Score moves on to 92. What, because somebody who was born to the right family's mum died? Oh, a bit of a mix-up between the two batsmen, but the fielder's quite happy just to keep it as a dot ball. Played by the royal family, I suspect. However, since Margaret and the Queen Mum died, gin sales decreased considerably. And that's a nice little knock through. And Mickle White departs, caught behind. And there are 9 down and 92 on the board. Well, how many catches is that for the keeper now? 2, 3? 2 and a stumping. Well, this has not been the batting performance that Pembroke were looking for from their side. But here comes the hero now, Pooh Sharma. Quick 50 from him. Yeah, by not hitting the ball. So Pembroke, unfortunately, yet to reach half of YM's total, but with 9 wickets down. If Pembroke win from here, you'll be able to say, I saw that game, and you'll remember it for the rest of your life. Be a good result for Railway. Pembroke thirds, 89 for 6 after 23 of their 45 overs at Drinks. YM thirds, entertaining Wexford Wanderers, 99 for 7 off 29. Well, many thanks to Paul Reynolds. Paul Reynolds, who's keeping an eye on things around Leinster at the moment, has quoted as saying that the 140 opening partnership by Tim Tector and Adam Rossley, their 140 beats the 133 by Kenny Carroll and Pat Collins for Railway back in 2014. It's the third highest partnership in the competition for any wicket, but it's the highest opening partnership on record in the Alan Murray. Well, Dublin University have beaten Leinster. Malahide have beaten North County. And Railway have beaten Terenure. And Clontarf have beaten Civil Service. And those are the results so far today. And I think we'll shortly be adding that YM have beaten Pembroke to that, as we enter into the last 5 overs. And Forbes so Pooh Sharma playing that one out. The required run rate now 20 point. And Sharma gets off the mark with a push out into the leg side. The score moves on to 94. Disc full in approximately 16 minutes. They're going to be looking for 2 here. Donica Tucker. Takes the score on to 97. Another one pushed down the ground, takes the score on to 98. Pembroke will be looking for that psychological 3 figures anyway. But no matter how you look at it, it's been an emphatic victory for YM. "16 overs completed, 98 on the board. The good news for YM is this is the last wicket partnership for Pembroke. Pooh Sharma, he's on 1. Donica Tucker is on 4, and we'd apologise for any language you may be picking up on our microphones at the moment. Tucker goes for it. Hits it straight. It's a boundary. And that's 100 up for Pembroke. 102 for 9 in this, the 17th over. Required run rate dropping to 22. Much better delivery, much more watchful from Tucker. Just out of interest, the required run rate going up to 23. Played out on the offside, they'll take the single. See the run rate go up again to exactly 24 required. 4 every ball from here on in, with Pushama facing. Clipped away down the leg side. They'll get 2 here. These two putting together quite the partnership. The run rate they're scoring out of 6.24, 6.3. The required run rate is just jumping every ball now. Seven off the over from Tim Tector. 105 for 9. 3 overs to go. And the required run rate now 27.33. 3-3. Well, those worms, they're only going to meet in Fantasyland now. Forbes continuing from the nursery end. And whilst that run rate required hasn't quite got to snookers yet, it won't be long before it does. This one's gone up in the air. Forbes positions himself underneath it. He takes the catch. That's the end of the innings. That's the end of the match. And that's a fine win for YMCA. They win by 81 runs. That's quite a comprehensive win for YM. Pembroke will have to pick themselves up for the next game at 4 o'clock when they'll be taking on local rivals Railway Union. Railway, who completed a win against Terranure this morning. And whilst the teams make their way off the pitch, I, for one, will be taking a break, and we will see you for the commencement of that second game. Thank you for joining us for this first game, where Pembroke all out for 105 in the 18th over, chasing YMCA's 186. Highlights of the game. Well, there's 2 main candidates for man of the match. 3 if you include Jamie Forbes, is 7 for 2. But Adam Ross Lee, well, he scored a wonderful half-century as part of a 140 partnership with Tim Tector, who scored 81 and led YMCA exceptionally well. Field placings and bowling changes, everything worked for them today. They did really well, and that's a good win for YMCA. Although Tim scored that 81 with plenty of 6s and 4s, and that opening partnership is a record opening partnership in the Alan Murray. As I said earlier, it's beaten Pat Collins and Kenny Carroll's opening partnership of 133. And they got 140, setting a new benchmark. It's the 3rd highest partnership for any wicket. And that was certainly the basis of YMCA's victory here today. There's the card from the first innings. Ashley Burton with 22. But Tim Tector, 81 off 49, and Adam Ross Lee, 56 off 36. And it's Adam Ross Lee who is the player of the match for his half-century, his part in a record-breaking partnership, and then following that, 2 catches, a stumping and a run-out. All-round performance from him. So thanks very much for joining us for this game. We hope you'll join us again at 4 o'clock when it will be Railway Union who will be the next visitors to Sydney Parade. So for the moment, thank you very much.